Welcome back to America Right Now. I'm Tom Basili. Throughout his career, Charlie Kirk made it part of his mission to take on woke ideologies in our society. And much of his rhetoric and debate with the country's younger generation also, though, evolved to include his commitment to his Christian faith. Here with us is a friend of Charlie Kirk's and a senior director of Turning Point USA Faith, the host of the Lucas Miles Show. He's also the author of Pagan Threat: Confronting America's Godless Uprising. And Lucas, I'm so sorry. I know this has been just a gut-wrenching week for you, everybody at the organization. Charlie had just written the foreword for your new book, and we're going to talk more about the book at another time.
Yeah.
But you know, it makes sense to me that the two of you were so close because he was the cool conservative guy and you're the cool pastor, right? Talk to us about how your relationship developed there.
You know, I got to know Charlie over the last couple of years, and his team originally, before I was part of it, had invited me out to come speak at one of the pastor summits. And I don't think at that time he really knew much about me at all. And I was on a panel with a few other gentlemen, and afterwards they pulled me aside and brought me back to see Charlie. And Charlie just said, "Hey, we need you around here." And it started a friendship. He got behind a lot of the work I was doing, even prior to me joining the staff at Turning Point. I was blown away over the last year and a half working alongside Charlie. There will never be another Charlie Kirk. He is everything that people see and saw about him online. He is that and more behind the scenes. It was an absolute honor to serve him, and I hope to continue to serve his vision as we press ahead.
Yeah, you know, you worked with him for these last couple of years, and you said that it was joining Turning Point was a God appointment. Talk to us about this ministry that you've managed to develop together with him, and how much. I mean, even though you're a religious figure in your own right, to be inspired by somebody like him.
Yeah, I had no intentions of joining the team there. I wasn't looking for a job. I'd gotten to know Charlie, over a couple of years, and I had offered some help to him to try to find the right candidates. I knew they were trying to fill the position, and he called me a month later and he said, "Hey, I'm going to take you up on that, but we're going in a different direction." He goes, "You're the guy," and it was not on my bingo card at that time. But I knew as soon as he said the words that this was a God assignment. We figured out how to make it work. I commute back and forth between where my church is in the Midwest and Phoenix. Since that time, I've just been so amazed at what the Lord has done through TPUSA Faith. We have over now 4,000 pastors and growing.
Wow.
We've added 1,000 churches just this last year that are standing with us. I'll tell you, last night after Erica's address to the nation, our whole system has just been overwhelmed and flooded by messages and people wanting to get involved and pastors wanting to sign up for things. The nation, I think was waking up before. I think they're very awake right now, and we hope to see, Charlie's work continue, and this vision of not only making America having the most conservative generation of all time, but also seeing the most Christian generation of all time take place, and that's my mission.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Charlie was asked not a couple of months ago, I think, how he would like to be remembered. Here's what he had to say.
How do you want to be remembered? I mean, if I die, everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
Lucas, how did he live his faith in addition to talking to people about it?
Charlie, the faith was not a talking point for Charlie. It was an all the time. He knew and understood and lived that following Christ was a total involvement process. In all of our side conversations, it was always theology. It was always scripture. It was always, what do you think about this verse? How would you process this? What do you think God's saying here? How do you think the church should move in this direction? He loved the church. He loved the Lord. His whole life, people, I heard, I think it was Pastor John Amachukwu said, he didn't lean left or right. He pointed up. And that was Charlie's life. And I think that, his words there in some ways were very prophetic. Yeah. And all of us who love him and hold him dear, we are going to remember him for that courageous faith first and foremost.
Erica, Kirk, was very clear last night that the work will go on undaunted. Are you concerned, though, about safety and the ability of these schools to now use his murder as an excuse to silence his message and your message?
Look, safety is always an issue, right? I mean, I've been assaulted twice. I've had, other things happen to me, over the years doing ministry. I think that, when you sign up to follow the Lord, though, there are things that are more important than safety. Following Jesus Christ and living my life to glorify Him is greater than any sort of concern about personal, peril or some sort of, attack on us. I'll tell you what, we are going to continue the mission, and I'm personally stating that we were working hard before. We haven't even gotten started yet. The work that we are going to do to get this message out and share the gospel, I truly believe that we are just beginning, and the greatest work is still ahead.
Pastor Lucas Miles, we'll have you back to talk about the book. Congratulations on that, and again, our condolences on the loss of your friend and a great man.
Thanks.
All right, as we begin our